Hey guys, I hope you can hear this because there's a lot of noise around me. But I'm making my video sitting outside of a Dunkin' Donuts because there's nowhere else to do it right now, and I'm waiting for my parents, and why not? So, this is my video for last week's Dysphoria thing, and I apologize for missing holiday week. That was just insane. And I suck at this, and I'm trying to be better about scheduling. I also don't know how to edit videos, so Kai, thanks for putting me out on that. Anyways, alright, let's just talk about dysphoria, I guess. Dysphoria sucks butt. I have a pretty big chest, and so that's probably like my biggest area of dysphoria. It like feels like it shouldn't be there, I guess, and I guess when I went through puberty it just got really bad. Made it feel like I was kind of like, well, I guess the way I explain it is, me and my brother always used to be really similar. We were the same height, we looked pretty similar. He was kind of chubby, but like, we were more or less similar, and most people thought we were twin boys. But then I went through puberty, and I felt like as my brother and I went through puberty, he grew into his body, you know? He grew up, he got muscular, he looked like a man, and I felt like I grew out of my body. Like, I grew breasts, I grew hips, and like, the first time I realized all of that was happening, I just like was horrified. I felt this like awful sinking feeling like everything was wrong, and it just got worse. And I think ultimately, I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't understand why I hated everything so much. But eventually, well, more recently, I figured out that it was because I'm trans, and I didn't ever want to accept that, so it was something I didn't like consider. I just thought I hated my body. But dysphoria is the word for the hate that I have for my body. In terms of bottom dysphoria, which is like feeling like bad about your junk, I guess, I definitely probably have that, but I am so uncomfortable with it, and it's like, I guess I'm so dysphoric that I don't even want to talk about it. So, I mean, with my last girlfriend, who was my first girlfriend, and the first like anything sexual was like, it was really difficult for me, and I guess bottom dysphoria is pretty bad, but it's not as apparent, you know, if I don't confront it, whereas the top half is very constant and consistent, and like even when I bind, it doesn't quite flatten everything, so that's like really hard for sure. I guess there's also voice dysphoria, and like I think like I want my voice to sound deep, and then like somehow in my head I can make it sound deep, but then I hear myself on recordings, and like not only do I just hate hearing my voice on recordings, but it also just never sounds like my voice. So that's really hard. And it's just, I get really dysphoric around my brother because he's 6'2", and I'm like 5'8", so I'm like tallish, I suppose, but like definitely not for a guy. And he's tall and he's muscular and big, and his hips are like that big, and I just like, it's hard because I like watched him grow into it as I grew out of my body, and I just hate that. So yeah, I guess that's like all for dysphoria that I've got. But I mean, dysphoria sucks butt. I never really knew that it was like a thing until I learned more about transgender stuff, and when I got into that and like started researching it, it made so much more sense as like why I hated my body, the ways I hated my body, the parts of my body that I hate, because I developed an eating disorder, and I didn't like target it in my head to like wanting things to be different in terms of like gender stuff, but ultimately that's what I was doing. And I think realizing like now that like I don't hate that I have fat, or like I don't hate my body because of the way it looks necessarily, I just hate it because it's not the like gender that I feel inside. So it's really hard, but yeah, I mean, coping mechanisms include like, well, not looking at mirrors, wearing masculine clothes, you know, working out definitely helps, but it's hard because going to gyms is generally pretty triggering just because there's so many like big guys and I want to be just like them, so I can't wait to go on T and get top surgery so I can do that. But yeah, so I guess that's basically it. If anybody has any questions, hit me up. I'll link my Instagram and my Kick down below so you can ask me questions, but I will try to do the next Saturday video on time. and I apologize a lot for not doing this stuff on time. I'm just like, the past couple weeks have been insane. Alright, Happy New Year everybody. I'll see you next week.